Morning. Morning, Sergey. Morning, Shadowhunter. Morning, Reading Tiger. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started. I'm ready. Past the bottom of the hour here. So first order of business is to, again, remind everyone that the content I'm about to provide is to be treated as general information, that the information I'm about to provide is not intended as investment advice and offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, or fund. We all understand that future trading does carry a fair amount of risk. An investor could lose potentially all or more their investment initials investment, and that only risk capital that would otherwise not compromise one's financial security or lifestyle should be used. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation to offer to buy, sell futures, options, or Forex. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right. So now that we got the risk disclosure out of the way, first order of business is to review the what we have in the way of news. Okay. So looking at the news, we have again OPEC meeting throughout the day. So that could cause, some pretty sharp moves in the crude oil market. We have ADP employment that just reported. We have a couple of members of the Fed, Hammock and Muslim, speaking today at 9 and 10, respectively. We have, for those who trade crude oil, we have the inventories, EIA, today at 10:30 Eastern. And then we have, again, some additional Fed members speaking, Bowman and Barkin. And then we have another member of the ECB speaking here at 12:45 in the afternoon here. So I guess the biggest piece of news here, well, outside of the inventories, is probably the ADP employment. Okay, so the fact that it came in positive, I'm assuming was positive to the market. We'll see how that plays out throughout the day. But for now, we at least understand we have, again, coming tomorrow, we have a fair amount of news coming into the market. But for today, it seems to be relatively small. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and move on into the charts here. So go ahead and stop sharing and share my screen here. And we'll locate my charting platform here. And we'll start with our review. Okay. So let's do this. All right. So we're going to go ahead and start with the gold market. Okay. So we'll go ahead and modify this here to say GC. Okay, and first order of business is to turn off all my indicators. Okay, including supply, including the indicator that I'm working through. All right, and we're going to go ahead and start with the daily chart. Okay, and again, ask ourselves the question: what is the market trying to accomplish? Okay, well, the market on the daily has been moving to the upside, right? Now, of late, it's probably a bit more range bound than it has been maybe in the recent past. Okay, but nonetheless, still remains to bullish. Okay, you can see here that we've continuously make higher highs and higher lows. All right, 4-hour chart. Okay, 4-hour chart again. This is kind of where the rangy price action is coming into play here a little bit. A lot more in the way of overlapping candles. We have yet to make a new high. We've made a couple of lows here, okay, but found some support here at around 2650. That has caused us to rally, and again pause at this 2695, 2700 level. Okay, so yeah, so again, 4-hour chart is kind of extending that view that the market might be a bit in range. Okay, I would say 2700s, I guess, still seems to be resistant, and then 2650 is probably the support. Okay, now let's go ahead and move on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. So here we are again, starting to see a series of lower highs and lower lows. Okay, price is below VWAP. I would be inclined here to draw my anchor VWAP here up at the top here. Okay, so again, we're below settlement, below anchor VWAP, below daily VWAP. So now we'll go ahead and open up the indicator here. Okay, I'm going to double confirm that the volume profile is being generated for the right range. It is not, so we're going to modify that to 830. Okay, and move this off to the right, and let's see, 830, and then the same for initial balance. We're going to modify that to 8 and this to 9. Okay, all right, so now we have our ranges. Okay, so again, all indications right now so far have been down. Okay, so as I mentioned before, we're below settlement price. We are below value from yesterday. We are below our anchor VWAP that I've drawn here, and also daily. Now we've also managed to get below, with this current candle, below this 233-day EMA. Okay, so this candle here was a bit news driven. Okay, just prior to the news report, we had a bearish candle that closed below this 233-day EMA, and the reaction, at least initially, was positive. Okay, to the market, but still remain below this daily VWAP. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and open up our levels here, guys. So let's paste these into the okay. So here we are. Okay, so these are the levels that we'll be tracking. Okay, on the right here, I'm just going to go ahead and double check some of these. We have 2692 as our value area high. We have 2682 as our value area low. We have 2686 as our point of control. Settlement is 2690. So really the only thing that we need to kind of double confirm here is ASR here. So we got ASR. Let's make sure that reads New York. Okay, so there's our ASR levels. That might need some adjusting from the values that I had established yesterday. So we'll go ahead and do that. So we have 2686.9 as our value, that's our value area high. We have 2663.90. Okay. Now price has reached an area, okay, where we're kind of reached the extensions. Okay. We've kind of reached the bottom end of the range. All right. But to be honest, if I'm going to entertain any sort of long in this market, I really need price to get above some structure here. Okay. Specifically, I need price to get above and close above the daily VWAP to start, and above price here at say 26 or 26.77 before I'm really ready to embrace any longs in this market. Okay, we're going to go ahead and open up initial balance here. Okay, so initial balance, that's again, this bar was, I guess, driven a bit by the news. Okay, so again, and this view is aligned, getting above this price and getting above VWAP is aligned with the view of price needs to get above 2674.2. Okay, because that's currently the initial balance high. Okay, so if I'm going to embrace the longs, and there's reason for it. Okay, we are at ADR low. We need a set of price events that align with that view. Otherwise, we are going to continue lower, okay, in this market, okay, and potentially get, either we're going to remain in a range, okay, and stay below our some of the indicators that we follow, or we're going to rally back to say maybe as high as settlement price, certainly anchor VWAP, okay, if we manage to get above say 2674, okay. So that's kind of what I'm seeing in the gold market right now. I would say that the sentiment it still remains bearish, but I do understand that I'm at a level where I could see a reversal in price. Okay, I could see price rally from this current location. Okay, I'm going to be patient and wait for a break of initial balance in one direction, either way. Okay, and that's going to be my kind of litmus test. Okay, it's going to be my litmus test to determine whether or not I'm going to want to participate in this market. If I don't get the initial balance break and it remains in the range, I'm going to have to decide whether the initial balance range is large enough for trades. At that point, I'm going to be focused in on the extremes of initial balance. But my preference is to see price break initial balance in one direction. Okay, either direction, either up or down. That will serve as my kind of signal that on whatever direction I should be looking to participate. Okay. Okay, so that's pretty much what I have for the gold market. Yeah, so if it breaks IB, it's going to break this daily VWAP. So before I had even drawn the initial balance, I had mentioned for me to entertain a long, I need to see a break and close above VWAP. Okay, well that also falls in line with a break above the initial balance. Okay, so I have 2 points of confluence to align with the direction of the trade. Now I have to also be leery. All right, of the possibility that price could stall around this anchor VWAP because we've been kind of separated from this anchor VWAP for some time. Okay, so this area, this area right here, okay, this 26, let's say 80 level, all right, could be an area where we could see some resistance. Okay, we could see some resistance. Okay, because the structure of late, right, the structure of late has been bearish. Okay. Yeah, I would say that would be a reasonable target initially. Okay. All right. All right. So I think that's pretty much what I have to share in the gold market. Before I kind of move into crude oil, I see a pretty big disparity, guys, between participants in this room and the like. So again, would like to encourage everyone to, kind of hit the like button. And if you're new and you want to kind of, I guess, reserve judgment until closer to the end of the market, so be it. Okay. For others who have been into my room, I think I guess I'd like to see that disparity close up here a little bit. So now that I've got ahead and review the gold market, we'll move to the crude oil market. All right. Now, crude oil market, as I mentioned in our review of the news, we have EIA coming in today at 10:30 Eastern time. Okay. We're going to have to adjust my indicator here. So I'm going to turn off this for a second, turn off and turn off and turn off this as well. Okay. So first order of business is to look at the daily and ask myself the question, okay, so we have a gap open. Okay. When we have a gap open, that's an indication that, we have a fair amount of buying, right? That people are so excited at the prospect of the current price that they are price opened even higher than the prior close. Now, these gaps eventually get filled. Okay, whether they get filled today or in the future, we know historically that these gaps get filled. But what this does say that there's a fair amount of momentum. Okay, fair amount of momentum to the upside. Okay, we are still below this 233-day EMA. We're challenging the prospect of getting above maybe some area of price structure here, which could bode well for the bulls, right? This could lead us to higher prices, certainly up to this EMA level before we see any sort of continuation. Now, once we get to this EMA level, based on what we see on the left-hand side, that could be an area where we see a continuation of the move. Okay. That could be an area where we see a continuation. So that's kind of what I'm seeing on the daily chart. Again, similar view that we kind of are in bearish structure to the downside, but I would say that this carries a little bit more, I guess, bullish weight. Okay, we have an area of demand here. Okay, have an area of demand, right? We see that price left this area, came back, got rejected. We have a gap now open, right? This candle is far from being complete, but these are all kind of bullish kind of activities. Okay, moving on to the 4-hour chart. Okay, 4-hour chart. Okay, so we see that price is up against some highs here, 72. I would say that if price is not able to get above 72, then I would expect price to move lower. Okay, right, something like this and kind of remain in this kind of range. If price does close above this area and stays above 72, then that could offer us maybe a leg up to 73, maybe up to 74, 50. Okay, but first order of business is that we need to get above 72. If we can't get above 72 and we stay in this kind of range, the longer we stay in range, the more likelihood sellers will again step back into the market and drive price lower. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to the 30-minute chart. Okay. So 30-minute chart. Here we are. So again, we have some overnight bullish activity. Okay. We've already talked about the gap open in this market. Okay. I'm looking at London here. London is a start right about here. Okay. London started off bullish. We've remained above this daily VWAP. I'm going to go ahead and draw an anchor VWAP here on the bottom. Okay, anchor VWAP on the bottom. All right. So this would be my other location. Notice the proximity of settlement price. Okay. Notice the proximity of settlement price. We have a couple of areas of confluence. You're welcome, Shark. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's see. Let's add our levels here. And then we'll double check to make sure that they're accurate. Okay. So first order of business is to, okay, we'll add our levels, and then we'll double check and confirm that the levels are indeed accurate. We'll get rid of this line here off to the side if I can. Okay, maybe need this at some point to discuss. Okay, all right. So first order of business, I'm going to load up the ADR. We're at ADR high. Okay, this could offer us a little bit of reversal, but similar kind of thing that we discussed. I just don't look at just the level. Okay, I need to see some sort of price event, either a new low, below daily VWAP, something else that kind of corroborate the location and confirm that indeed there's going to be a little bit of a reaction. Now, we've already received a reaction away from it, but we've received an equal reaction next to this demand here. Okay, so let's go ahead and start talking through our levels here. So we have 71.96 or 98 as our ADR high. We have 69.67 as our average daily range low. We're going to go ahead and open up ASR since I think we're pretty much open in the market here. We're going to make sure this reads New York. It does. We'll change this to London for the moment. Okay. So these are our London ranges. Okay. So we have 71.90 as our average session range high. Okay. And then 70.10 as our average session range low. Okay. All right. So again, pretty logical levels to be honest. Okay. So here we are. We've reached both the ASR and ADR level. This would again be a logical location to see price maybe fall from here. Okay. And maybe we can use the anchored VWAP and settlement price as a potential target as well as ASR low. Okay. This is a pretty good move, right? From 71.90 down to 70.10. Okay. That's certainly within the realm of possibility here. Okay. We're going to go ahead and open up my indicator here now. So we'll add the other levels. So value area high. I just want to make sure we modify this because I am looking at a different market. So this needs to be modified to 9 a.m. Okay. And then we also need to modify the session range. Just kind of modifying, make sure I capture the correct levels here. Okay. So we have value area high coming in at 71.29. Okay. And we have value area low coming in at 69.77. Okay. And then our point of control is 70, looks like 70.13. Okay. Or 70.15. Let's move this out of the way. Yeah. 70.15 is our point of control. So looks like our levels are in place here. I'm going to go ahead and copy paste this in. Okay. Good morning, Ricky. All right. So we're just going to go ahead and do. Okay. All right. All right, so let's talk a couple of hypos here. Well, I think I've already mentioned one, right? So we're at a level where we could expect possibility of price headed lower. We're going to go ahead and open up initial balance here. Okay, so the initial balance range uh, should be opening up. I'm not sure why. We're already past the hour initial balance, hour day session. Interesting. Okay, well, I'm not exactly sure, but in any case, for now, it seems maybe I'm in some sort of replay mode. Yeah. Okay. All right. Oh, come on. Okay, so there's our initial balance range. Okay, I was in some sort of replay mode. Okay, so there's our initial balance range. Again, if price is not able to hold here above daily VWAP, then I would say that we have a reasonable chance of um, at least getting down to value area high. And if we do close inside value, then I would say that we make a rotation through value here, all the way down to 70. Okay. If price does hold here at daily VWAP, and I'm going to go ahead and draw, I already drew my anchor VWAP. If it holds here, then we have a reasonable chance to maybe make some new highs, because the daily range was broken during the overnight session. Okay. And when the daily range is broken in the overnight session, that is also an indication that we could be in store for an abnormal day, in this case to the upside. Okay. But I need to see, okay, some event, some price event indicating that that's in play. Okay. So right now we have an initial balance range that's being established. So I would need to see at least the initial balance range break to the upside. Okay. And close to the upside before I'm willing to entertain any sort of long trade. Okay. So short below daily VWAP, long above initial balance high. Simple as that. Okay. All right. See if there's any questions. I'm not seeing them. Okay. So let's go ahead and move on to the equity markets. So I'm going to go ahead and modify this to equities. All right. So this is Z. Okay. We'll need to double check. We'll need to modify my tool here to say 30, and then here 30. Yeah, I would say that if you're looking, I would say that you wait an extra 30 minutes or so after the EIA report before you embrace any sort of trades. Okay, in crude oil today. Okay, because it could be quite whippy. Has the potential of being whippy. All right, and when we get involved in a trade, we want to be involved in a trade that is in a sustained direction. Right, we don't need whippiness. Okay, so yes, it's probably a good call, Ziggy, to wait 30 minutes after the EIA report before taking on any sort of executions. So, all right. So we have the NASDAQ up on the screen here. I've modified the timing of some of the things that I look at here with the new indicator that I'm working through. Okay. Kind of as far as levels go. All right. So first things first, we're going to take a look at the daily. Again, spot check that and say, okay, what is the market trying to accomplish? Well, right now the market is trying to accomplish higher prices, I guess. You can see that we've gotten a series of higher highs and higher lows. Okay. And we also can see that we're in kind of a larger swing to the downside. Okay. So, I mean, technically, we probably need to get above 21,000 to really break the hold that this swing might be having on the market of late. Again, feeling a little bit on the heavy side, I would say, in this market. We do have some demand at 19,000, say 700, maybe as low as 650. Okay, we do have some demand there. So I would say that any kind of move to the bearish side could be met with buyers at that level. Okay. All right. So daily is above our sentiment indicator in this case, our 233-day EMA. So that's still indicating that we are in a bullish kind of move. We broke some structure to the upside, but there was really no follow through. Okay, that was met with some sellers. All right, like I said before, this 19,700 seems to be kind of an appealing level for me to the bullish side, because that aligns with this candle here. Now, I understand that this is a daily chart, right? We don't trade the daily, but it gives us a sentiment of what we could potentially expect and where the momentum is headed. Okay, let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. Okay, 4-hour chart, again, we're up against or coming close to the 233-day EMA. You can see here that every time we've come close to the 233-day EMA, that has been met with some support here. Now, the question is this 19,000? I guess it looks like more like in 19,800. If price comes down to this level, is that going to be supportive? If so, then we could expect maybe a rally similar to this one, okay, from that level, okay? If price breaks below this level, then we start to entertain lower prices here, okay? Maybe down to 19,550, okay, 19,600, something along those lines, okay? Moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart, we're smack on top of settlement price. Okay, so if price, again, this is another kind of sentiment right now on the 30-minute chart, we're below the 233-day EMA. We are technically below settlement price. So right now, I would say if I had to guess a direction, that would be the direction. Okay, if I had to guess on the direction. If price does manage to make a new high above, say, 19,990, then I would say that we have 20,000, okay, kind of 20,065 to deal with, and potentially the EMA here at 20,100. But the first things first is that we need to get above this area. Okay, if we cannot get above this area, I would say that we have potentially another leg to the downside. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's go ahead and add our levels here, and then we'll spot check to make sure that they're accurate here. Okay. So we'll go ahead and add them. Okay. All right. There are levels. Okay. All right. First thing that we're going to open up here is ADR. We're kind of in the middle. We're going to go ahead and open up ASR. Okay. Also relatively in the middle of the range. We're going to go ahead and open up our volume profile and some of the things that we track. We're going to go ahead and spot check some of these. So we're going to take a look at ADR. ADR is coming in at what is that? 20,119. I have it at 121. Again, really depends on how you make the line, but let's average it out to 120. Okay, ADR low is coming in at 19,835. Okay, ADR low is 19,835. That's within tolerances. We have 20,069 as our average session range high. So we'll go ahead and modify that, 69, and that's an even number. Okay, and then ASR low is coming in at 19,835. So we'll modify that to 835. Okay, 25. All right. So again, as we've already discussed, I'm gonna, Yes, definitely hit the likes. Okay, so we've already talked about the possibility of maybe taking on a potential short trade. I would say that if you're more interested in the longs, that maybe these ADR or ASR levels might be a good location that we could potentially see a reversal in price. Okay, but similar to what I've stated for the other markets, I'm going to wait for initial balance to establish. Okay, let price decide which side of initial balance it wants to exceed, if it's going to exceed at all, and then participate in a trade. Okay. So yeah, so that's kind of what I'm seeing right now. Like I said, right now it feels that the market is a little bit on the heavy side. It feels like it wants to go down, at least down to this ASR level. So that's kind of how I would probably play it initially. If price were to close or actually begin to breach above, say 19,990, then maybe it opens up 20,000 or 20,069 to the upside. Because right now we're kind of in the middle of the range, middle of value, middle of ADR, middles of middles. Okay, so really not a great place to initiate trades. But it's certainly possible that we could reach the extremes here. Okay. All right. Let's see if there's anything else that I should be saying about the markets. That's at least about this market. I don't see anything obvious. You're welcome, Frizu. We're going to go ahead and move on to the ES market here, guys. So we're going to move on to ES. All right. So ES, we have price. Again, similar to, we'll just kind of quickly look at the daily. Okay, daily. We'll turn off some of these indicators. Okay. All right, just to make our view as clear as we can. All right. Now, price exceeded a level here, I guess a little bit more definitively in this market, but did not sustain. Now, I would say that 5,700 or 5,725 ish would be an area that should be supportive. Okay, if this is a bull market, okay, I would say that this area should be supportive right around here. That should, I'm going to go ahead and change that to green. Okay, I would not expect price to get below that level. If it does, then I think it opens the door for a possibility for price to come back down to 5,500. Okay. Right now, I would say that if the bulls do remain in control of this market, it needs to remain above this, say, let's call it 57.25. Okay. 57.25, 57.20 range. Okay. If price gets below that, that could be a springboard. Now we do have a little bit of a level here around 5,700. Okay, that could also be an area of support. All right. Looking at the 4-hour chart. Okay, 4-hour chart. Here we are. Here's that same level that we kind of identified on the daily. Price is above our 233-day EMA, so that's bullish. Okay. All right. So let's see what else. We do have a little bit of a supply area around, I would say 5,700. Okay. That could be an area where we could see some demand. And that's also relatively in the same vicinity as our 233-day EMA. All right. Looking at the 30-minute chart. Okay. So really, nothing going on in the overnight. Okay. Pretty neutral in the overnight. All right. Again, if we are going to entertain any sort of bullish trade, well, we need to get above 5760. Okay, or maybe even 5765 to really entertain a bullish trade. Okay. If we do manage to get above 5765, then we can use settlement as our reference level. Okay. Or maybe even daily VWAP as our reference level to support our risk. Okay. We have two pieces of information here: settlement price and daily VWAP. All right. I'm going to go ahead and I guess I'm inclined to kind of draw the anchor VWAP here above us. Okay. Just because that's the major swing. So we'll go ahead and do that. Locate anchor VWAP. We'll go ahead and locate something like this. So that's, again, notice where anchor VWAP is in the exact line that I'm mentioning here as is kind of the price event that I would need in order to support a long. Okay, price needs to get above this anchor VWAP for me to really entertain and support a long trade. Okay, if it remains below VWAP and remains below settlement, okay, then I would say that there's further downside in this market. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and add our levels. Okay. So let's move over to that level. Okay. Here are our levels. We're going to go ahead and spot check these. We're going to go ahead and open up ADR. ADR is coming in at 57.85, which is in line. We have 57.35.50 as our average daily range low. So price is above average daily range. It's kind of in a weird place right now, below settlement, but above ADR. Okay, kind of a weird range. Probably not an area that I would really want to participate in any sort of trade. Probably would want to see some sort of definitive move either to the upside or to the downside before I would want to entertain this. Do not want to be a part of this kind of price action. Okay, unless you're really into pain. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's again continue our kind of spot checking of our levels. So let's go ahead and open up value. So we have value area high coming in at 57.69. Okay, that seems to be in order. We have 57.43 to the downside. We have point of control coming in at 57.61, and then settlement at 57.59. Okay, so we discussed our hypos. Like I said, we're still about 9 minutes away from the open of the market. Again, I'm going to wait for some sort of price event to indicate to me that assuming that this is a market that I'm focused in on, we need to see some sort of break of this consolidation area one way or the other. Okay. Now, the other thing that I need to be guarded against is that I get a move like this, come into this level, and then have it rally on me. Okay. This is certainly within the possibility, right? Give you kind of a false sense that it's going to head lower and then have the market turn around on you. Okay. Because it came into a level. All right. It came into this level here that we kind of identified earlier. Okay. So that's something else to be wary of. All right. So in this particular case, I probably want to see price, close below this, retest this before we head lower. Okay. That's kind of what I'm seeing now in the ES market. Okay. All right. I think that's kind of what I have to say for ES. We're going to go ahead and close off this session with a review of the Dow. Okay. The Dow seems to be a bit stronger than maybe some of these other markets. And maybe this could be a precursor of what we could expect to see in both either the NASDAQ or the ES, right? Maybe the Dow is leading the charge to the upside. Okay. So again, looking at this, let's remove some of these drawings here. Let's shut down some of these indicators. All right. So here we are on the daily chart, kind of in this kind of consolidation range. Feels a little bit kind of roundy up on the top. Candle here is developing a buying wick, indicating that we could potentially see some upside move in this market. Okay. I really need to see a new high to really embrace the longs, to be honest. Well, I need to see something new, right? Right now, we're in this range. The last three candles have been inside. We haven't really had a definitive close outside of this structure in either direction. Okay. Either to the upside or to the downside. Okay. Which is by definition a ranging market. All right. 4-hour chart. For our chart, we have a developing 4-hour candle here that's bullish. Okay. If we do manage to close above settlement, maybe even above this 42,550 or 555, let's call it 660, guys. Then that would definitely break my channel here. right, to the upside, okay? If I'm looking at it this way, if I do get a close above this, that could be the springboard for some further upside action in the Dow, okay? Looking at the 30-minute chart, okay? 30-minute chart, there's our channel, there's our levels, okay? Right now, we still remain below settlement, but it's being challenged. We're challenging it, okay? We are above, let's go ahead and remove the channel here for now, okay? We are above the daily VWAP. I'm kind of inclined to draw my anchor VWAP up on the top here. Okay, so here we are right up against anchor VWAP. Now, is this going to offer an opportunity for a short, okay, to the downside, or is this going to break above and give us an opportunity using maybe daily VWAP and anchor VWAP and settlement as our reference levels to support our risk in the trade? Okay, so that's kind of so let's capture some of these levels because I don't have regular levels that I capture in this market. So let's spot check some of our levels here. So we have 42. You're welcome, Trader Dubois. So we have ADR low here. Okay, so ADR low at not low but high. Sorry, 42,651. Okay, 42,651. 42,651 is our ADR high. Okay, and then we have 42,261, 42,261 as our ADR low. Okay, we're going to go ahead and open up our tool here. So we have value area high at 42,518, 42,518 as our value area high. And then we have value area low coming in at 42,322 is our value area low. We have point of control at 42,399 is our point of control. And then we have settlement at 42,479 is our settlement price. Okay. I'm gonna let's see. We have about 3 minutes away before I'm gonna go ahead and add the ASR, but understand that this is still being developed, or probably most likely will change. So we have 518, 42,518 as our ASR high. 518 as our ASR high. ASR low is 42,208 is our ASR low. Okay. So what to make of this market? Well, I would say out of all the markets, this seems to be the most bullish, okay, of late. All right. We've come up to this ASR level, which could produce one of two things. We could get a reversal down from this level. Okay. We have a couple of areas here that could support a move back down. If we break above, let's say ASR high, break above this anchor VWAP, break above daily VWAP, then we open up the door to get back to the highs of day, right? Back to the high of Tuesday, all right, at 42,600. Okay. So again, similar view. I'm going to wait for initial balance to establish for this market. Market's about to open here in a couple of minutes. I'm going to wait for this initial balance range to establish, and then wait for price to dictate what direction it wants to go. Okay. I'm not going to preempt it. I'm not going to front load it. I'm not going to do any of that, any of the sort. Okay. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to remain disciplined and wait for price action to indicate what the direction it wants to head. Okay. Simple as that. Right now, it seems like it wants to go higher, but it could easily change with the open of the market here. Okay. So I think that's pretty much what I have. Willing to entertain any questions if there are any. If not, then we will close the session here, and wish you guys a safe and profitable session. Okay. All right. So trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. All right, guys. So have a good session. We'll again be in group coaching later this afternoon. For those who have access to the Top Step server, I'll be in the Coach Ray's channel for about an hour. Okay, before I have to head out for the day. And yeah, again, reminder for those crude oil traders that we want to probably be flat heading into the day, okay, or headed into that news event, and basically wait for that news event to happen before we entertain anything and of the sort in crude oil. All right. All right, guys. So that's it for me. Again, trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. All right, guys. Have a good day, and we'll talk soon.